schools, and first responders. Libraries, parks, and even veteran services are supported by our renewable energy projects. So when clean energy projects thrive, our communities thrive too. DTE.
WSGW News Time 9:08. The weather forecast is coming up. It's closing time for roadside parks in the Upper Peninsula. MDOT will be closing all 32 roadside parks in the UP starting today. They plan to reopen in late April. They note the roadside I-75 rest area north of St. Ignace will close for the season November 30th due to safety concerns. West Michigan missionaries have died while in the field. Michigan News Network's Ryan Recker reports.
Dave and Joy Mueller and Julie Holman were working in Kenya for Kenya Hope. It's a faith-based nonprofit based in Hudsonville outside of Grand Rapids. They provide freshwater wells education, widow training, and food relief to a number of communities. And while on the trip, it's reported that they were killed in a car accident. The Muellers were the executive directors of Kenya Hope, while Holman was the daughter of the organization's U.S. director. At this time, no arrangements have been formalized. Ryan Recker for the Michigan News Network.
There's a new place to enjoy beer in Metro Detroit, brewed by culinary students. Livonia's Schoolcraft College has opened the Craft Grill, a student-run brew pub with 8 beers on tap and a menu designed by the college's culinary operations program, part of an $11 million renovation to the Schoolcraft Visitech Center. The Craft Grill is open Wednesday through Sunday. WSGW News Time 9:10. I'm Mike Percha. Now here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
This Friday is the last day of warmth for this week. We'll have a high of 70 degrees today. Still a breezy southwest wind gusting to around 30 miles per hour. We'll have a cold front moving through this evening. That'll start to cool us down into the weekend, but it will bring us one more round of some scattered showers this evening before a dry day on Saturday. We are expecting a lot of dry time, though, during the middle of your Friday as well. It's down into the late afternoon and the evening where those showers pick back up. For tonight, we'll have a low of 42 degrees, then a high of only 52 on Saturday, but partly to mostly cloudy, completely dry through Saturday. Then on Sunday, a high of 46. And we are still tracking some rain showers for Sunday, but the better chance there will be from Saginaw and south. So Flint having the best chance over the weekend. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Right now, it's 64 degrees at WSGW.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Good morning and welcome to the Art Lewis Show. It's Friday, everybody. We've made it. It has been another great week here in the Great Lakes Bay region. This is Matt Felan, President and CEO at the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance. And for all of Art's listeners, you guys have me for the next 7 business days. Art is officially on vacation, and so we are going to have some fun here over the course of the next 7 days, talking about a lot of great things and companies and entities that are working, living, and playing across the Great Lakes Bay region. Today, though, being Friday, we're going to have some fun. We're going to chat here in the first hour about the Dow Tennis Classic taking place in Midland starting next week. And in the second hour, we're going to be joined by Lee Thompson and Hugh Burnrider with Bay City Times and the Saginaw News from MLive. They are both high school sports reporters, and we are going to talk about the high school football playoffs at the 10 o'clock hour as those kick off today. And know that we have a ton of listeners who have children, grandchildren, neighbors, and family playing. So we thought we would spend a little bit of time talking about that. But here in the first hour, we're going to kick it off with Jeff Reckaway, the executive director of the Midland Tennis Center, and Ben Moore with Top Notch. Good morning, Jeff and Ben.
Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Matt. How you doing?
Great. It's great to have you guys both on. Would love, Jeff, we're going to start with you. And I always think this is an important piece to talk about as we talk about things that we have available in the region. It's something that's extraordinarily well known in Midland, but maybe still not as well known in the surrounding counties. Jeff, can you talk about the Midland Tennis Center?
Absolutely. It's one of the, I guess, most unknown, incredible assets that we have in the community, and those of us that have been around here take it for granted a little bit. We are one of, if not the largest tennis facility in the Midwest. 39 tennis courts total, 16 indoors. We host many USTA, United States Tennis Association national tournaments. So on a monthly basis, if not multiple times, we have visitors from all over the country: New York, California, Texas, Florida, you name the state. The top players in the country are coming here to compete on a national level. And they love the tennis center. One of the, real quick, when I first got here a little over a year and a half ago, we hosted a level 2, which is the second highest level national tournament. And this gentleman was FaceTiming people, and obviously I had no idea who he was FaceTiming, but he got done, and I asked him if he was here for the tournament. He said, yeah, we're from Long Island, playing these all over the place. And I was just FaceTiming my wife, showing her this facility. We've never been in a facility like this before. And that's somebody from Long Island, New York, that their daughter played in a lot, or plays in a lot of tournaments. So we're incredibly blessed to have this asset, and the economic impact that it makes. The Dow Tennis Classic alone is about $1.5 million economic impact directly to the Great Lakes Bay region.
Yeah, so let's pivot there and let's start talking about the Dow Tennis Classic. I think a lot of folks may remember it as the Dow Corning Tennis Classic. That was the presenting sponsor for years. Can you talk about the history of the tournament going back from its early days? When did it start? How long has it been coming to Midland? And now, how is it? Is it any different now under Dow sponsorship?
Well, great question. So it's an incredible history. In fact, this year is our 35th anniversary. So one of the longest continuously running tournaments in the world, especially when you consider COVID. So we used to run in February. So we had our 2020 tournament right before COVID in February, and before things shut down. And then we were able to run almost normal in 21 when we had it. But so, excuse me, the tournament started. There's a young lady, Meredith McGrath, that was a local tennis player, and Dow Corning, there was a relationship there, started the tournament as a professional tournament to have a tournament for her to play in. And the stadium court that we play on to this day is Meredith McGrath Stadium court in her honor. So it started then. It has obviously it's grown. It's developed. We went 3 years ago from an ITF or a USTA 100 event and partnered with the WTA to a 125. So the prize money has grown over the years. It going to Dow Chemical over Dow Corning was simply when they spun off the companies, there was no more Dow Corning, and the reorganization, and thankfully Dow Chemical and some other local companies have gotten behind the tournament sponsorship wise that still make it possible to do today. And I think we're with the partnership with Ben's here with Top Notch, it has helped us really elevate not only the players, but the experience for everybody that takes part in it.
Sure. So, Ben, we have to pivot to you here real quick. Jeff, we know well. He's everywhere across Midland and the Great Lakes Bay region. He's local celebrity, but you're the new guy. Ben, can you tell us exactly who you are and what Top Notch does in relation to the Dow Tennis Classic?
Oh, Ben froze.
I think Ben is frozen here. So, Jeff, we're actually going to go back your way here for a quick second. Can you tell us about Top Notch and who they are and how they work with you guys at the Dow Tennis Classic?
Yeah. So when we
sorry. Sorry about that.
Always technical difficulties. No problem. Ben, tell us about Top Notch and your role with the Dow Tennis Classic.
Yeah, no, definitely. We're super excited to be partnering with the Dow Tennis Classic. And
So,
I think Ben is having some technical difficulties here. So we're going to give him a way to call in. Jeff, talk to us about Top Notch.
okay, so and I apologize. Ben's actually in our building and in another room, and obviously we've got to update our internet and Wi-Fi. So Top Notch is, for those that locally know who Outlier is and what Outlier does for our Great Lakes Bay Invitational. Top Notch is that for tennis. So they're based out of Cleveland, Ohio. They have the Tennis in the Land, which is a WTA 250 event. They run a couple others and help manage a couple other tennis tournaments throughout the Midwest. They also manage players, so they're agents for tennis players and pickleball. They're expanding their I guess footprint, if you will, or so they've been a great partner. They understand the WTA. They understand what players need here. And I will say that over the years, the Dow Tennis Classic has a reputation with players that they get a real personal touch. And that says so much about our people, our volunteers, and they love coming here. But anyway, Top Notch is partnered with us. This is our second year where they've helped us manage the tournament.
Jeff, I'm so glad that you brought that up. It's amazing to me that a region our size, we're not a tier 1 city, right? We're not Chicago or New York or LA. But at the end of the day, here in the region, we host professional women's golf. We host professional women's tennis. To give the listeners an idea, what level of tennis players come into play in the Dow Tennis Classic? And really, once they play here, where do you see their trajectory?
Well, a lot of people have heard of Coco Gauff now. Coco Gauff just won the U.S. Open and is top 5 in the world. She was runner-up in our tournament in 2019. So the other really cool, if we're allowed to still use the word cool, Matt. I mean,
absolutely we are. We're old men. We can do this, Jeff. We're good.
I say cool and neat a lot, and my kids kind of give me the look when I use it. But anyway, one of the cool things about the Dow Tennis Classic, and obviously we've been around a long time, but it parallels the Saginaw Spirit, the Great Lakes Loons, and that you're able to see tomorrow's stars today up close. And when we talk about tomorrow, we're talking a year or two, or maybe even the same year. There's, out of the top 5 players in the world right now, 3 of them have played in the Dow Tennis Classic, and a lot of them multiple times. So it's one thing to watch tennis on TV. It's another thing to come here in person and really see just the velocity that they hit the tennis ball and the skill set that they have. And so it's an incredible entertainment and experience.
So you know what, Jeff, to make us the right age, I'm going to say that's bussin', which is apparently what the kids are saying now, if we're going to be up with the lingo. But we're going to take a quick break, Jeff and Ben, and we come back. We're going to talk about how we can get our listeners out to the Dow Tennis Classic after these messages.
Thanks, Matt.
This is Dan Streeter, CEO of Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan. Hope often begins with a hot meal, a restful night of sleep, an encouraging word from someone who cares. When you support Rescue Ministries, you pave the way for homeless and hurting neighbors to look beyond simply making it through the day. You help them reclaim their hope. Please go to rescuemidmichigan.org to make a gift today. Remember, there's no place like home unless you don't have one.
Two late-night superstars, The Tonight Show's Jay Leno.
The economy is so bad, I turned on The Biggest Loser, saw my 401k.
And special guest Arsenio Hall.
The shaven head is all new. Eventually, you don't choose your haircut choose you.
Friday, December 8th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Tickets start at $56 and are on sale now at the box office or etix.com. Party hard, laugh louder with Jay Leno and special guest Arsenio Hall. December 8th at Soaring Eagle Casino.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why pay full price when you know you can save at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out our deals from Frankenmuth Corn Maze, Reality Check in Bay City, Applied Training Solutions, Music Mixology DJ Services, Unique Floral Design and Gifts, Frankenmuth Aerial Park, Bubble Tea Brewhouse, Daylight Outfitters, and so many more. Half off? Yeah, it's true. It's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
There was some improvement in inflation last month as measured by the PCE, Personal Consumption Expenditures Index. Inflation for the year ending in September up 3.4%. Core inflation on an annual basis, 3.7%. Personal incomes rose only 0.3%. Spending, which is personal consumption, up 0.7%. That may be a sign people are dipping into savings to buy things. Amazon's profit tripled in the summer from a year ago. Its retail business is resilient, and it's predicting increasing demand for its cloud business to serve artificial intelligence. Chevron and ExxonMobil both reported mixed earnings. Those stocks are lower. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosolda, invested in you.
Jesse Kelly here. Do you feel protected? My personal protection plan is owning gold. The Oxford Gold Group helps you buy gold to have on hand or convert it into your 401k. If things get weird, I have gold on hand. I like that. You can buy coins or convert part of your 401k with the Oxford Gold Group. It's easy and safe. 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD. 833-995-GOLD.
Your pet isn't just a pet, they're part of your family. Most of the pet food on the market is cooked at high temperatures, which kills nutrients. A scoop of Dynovite is a 3-in-1 daily supplement, adding back key nutrients to your pup's health. Try Dynovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at DINOVITE.com/radio. That's Dynovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dynovite.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Your WSGW morning team.
So, gentleman's story, but it involves me as the gentleman. When I was out yesterday, I wanted a Slurpee. So I pulled into one of the local 7-Elevens, and as I was getting out, there was a woman who was exiting her vehicle. She was struggling a little bit, and then I noticed she was using a cane. So as I got to the door, I patiently waited for her, and I opened the door, and she thanked me and said, "It's nice to know there are still gentlemen in this world." Mm-hmm. To which I kind of chuckled, and I said, "Thank you." And I said, "I'm sure there are many more and better gentlemen than me." And then, as it turns out, when I got to pay for my Slurpee, guess what? I didn't have to pay for it. She did. She paid for my Slurpee.
See what happens when you pay it forward.
But I just thought that was sweet. But she didn't have to do that. Should have got the extra large. But no. See, I'm ruining the moment. Just to prove I'm not the gentleman you thought I was, okay?
The morning team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
Good morning, or back on the Art Lewis Show here on our Friday. It's Matt Felan filling in for Art. And I am joined today by Jeff Reckaway with the Midland Tennis Center and Ben Moore from Top Notch. We have Ben in a spot where we can talk to him. I'm not losing the opportunity. Folks, he's from Ohio, so you're going to have to forgive him. Nobody's perfect. Good morning, Ben. How are you?
Good morning, man. I'm doing all right.
Hey, talk to us about Top Notch. Jeff kind of gave us a quick high level. Tell us who you are. It's great to have you in Midland here working on this great event. If you could spend a quick few minutes telling us exactly who you are and some of the work that you've done with Top Notch through the years.
Yeah, definitely. So at Top Notch, I wear definitely a lot of hats. For our events division, I am one of our events managers, so handling tournaments, specifically tennis tournaments, pretty much all across the Midwest. The Dow Tennis Classic is certainly one of our larger events. We do have a WTA 250, so just one step higher tournament in Cleveland called Tennis in the Lands. That takes place the week prior to the U.S. Open, is the warm-up event for the U.S. Open for the women. But I go city to city throughout the Midwest, putting on some tennis tournaments. Top Notch as a whole is a sports agency, so we represent professional tennis athletes, professional pickleball athletes now that pickleball is growing, as well as some players in a couple other racket sports. But we started as an agency in Cleveland, and we've grown our events division significantly. And we're super excited to be here in Midland in the Great Lakes Bay region to put on the Dow Tennis Classic.
So, gentlemen, for our listeners that are out there in their offices this morning driving around that are asking themselves, hey, this sounds interesting, and I haven't been out there before. How do fans attend? What are the different offerings? What can they come out and enjoy? What do you have for kids? Let's really tell the story of getting people out there so that they know when to come over. So let's start really big picture. What are the dates and times?
Really appreciate the question, Matt. So actually, qualifying begins on the 30th. Well, on Sunday, the 29th, actually. And then first round of main draw begins the 30th on Monday. All those events are free for people to come in and watch. Then the ticketing of the event starts Tuesday evening. But again, we have match in the day, and those are free during the day. All the way through the championship on Sunday. The Dow Tennis Classic, it's one thing is the tennis, but the other thing that is so powerful and fits our mission is what we do, the impact we have in our community. So starting tomorrow morning, we have a kids play day sponsored by the USTA. And that starts at 11 o'clock. Saturday morning is free for kids to come in from grade school through high school for them to attend. So they can go to dowtennisclassic.com and check out how those times are appropriate for the age group on Saturday. And then Sunday, we have a great opportunity, and there's still some spots left for our Pro-Am. So people have the opportunity to play for an hour with one of the pros that are in the tournament. We have some slots at 9, 10, and 11 o'clock Sunday morning available. Again, can go to dowtennisclassic.com to call in, or to get the number to call in and register for that, and get to play against it's fun competition. It's not, you got to be a great tennis player to play in it type thing, but a great opportunity to get one-on-one with some of the pros that are playing in the event. And then throughout the week, we've added a STEM zone to the event. Jacobs out of New Orleans is a new sponsor with them, partnered with Dow and some of our robotics teams locally, which we've had great success there, are partnering with the STEM zone and then a family fun zone. So working to make it even a more family fun event. The other really cool thing that's coming back post-COVID is we take pros out to schools. So the actual pros will go out and visit with schools in the region. We started it again last year and had a few schools, and then now we've been able to build on that this year. And then the really fun thing is schools actually coming to the event. So starting Monday, we'll have schools coming and watching and cheering on the pros, and we're working on, depending on the timing, pros being able to visit with them a little bit and talk about the importance of commitment and personal responsibility and discipline and those types of things. So as far as I feel like I'm talking a lot, Matt.
Yeah, this is exactly why you're on the radio. This is why you're here. This is great. No, I'll jump in and say I've had a chance to attend several years, and a few of the things that really stick out to me are, number one, how close you are to the action. You seem to be right on top of the tennis. So that was, one thing that I really took away. The second was the level of the tennis being played was absolutely astounding. It really blew me away, how great these women tennis players are. So the thought of joining them in a pro-am sounds absolutely frightening. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I am built for that. I may not be your exact audience, as I've played tennis maybe 3 times ever. So I'm going to skip that portion of the week. But for those that are listening, I think you heard Jeff, they do have openings to play in the pro-am. Imagine it's 2019. You got to play in the pro-am with Coco Gauff, and looking at where things are today, that's a pretty amazing experience. So for those of you that are tennis players and you're looking for a unique opportunity, it sounds like this is something you should jump all over.
Appreciate it. Yeah, and then there's ticketing for all levels. Again, we purposefully keep the day sessions free. We do ask, but not required, a donation that people feel is appropriate. That goes to our scholarship fund, which helps us provide tennis to kids that maybe wouldn't be able to afford it otherwise, and that's been very meaningful. But then we have everything from general admission tickets all the way up to box seats that include food and beverage. So we have great dining experience nightly, Tuesday through Sunday, for the matches that is part of the box seat ticket.
So, Jeff, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to discuss that, because that is actually my favorite part of the Dow Tennis Classic, is the unique food offerings. So we're going to chat about that after these messages.
It happens after every commercial building gets built.
That looks great, boys. Wow, what a change. The owners are going to be thrilled.
Even after cleaning out the garage or shed. That leftover scrap metal can be a burden, but it doesn't have to be, and it can make you some cash. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal is a metal recycling company that'll pay you cash and recycle your metal for the future. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal also makes it easy. We can provide containers for industrial manufacturing facilities and small specialty shops for moving and storing scrap metals. Looking to scrap a vehicle? We got you. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal in Saginaw, just north of the Dow Event Center. Also located in West Branch, 1 mile off I-75 and M76. Schedule a car pickup or check metal prices now at rifkin-co.com. Rifkin Scrap Iron and Metal, recycling today for tomorrow.
Wait, rebound, they score! Valentin Zugin! Oh, awesome.
This Friday, a new face makes his Saginaw Spirit debut. Newly acquired forward Ethan Hay suits up in the red, white, and blue for the first time as the Spirit battle the Sioux Greyhounds at 7:05. Plus, a potential brother-against-brother matchup as Spirit rookie Jacob Kluche battles his older brother Justin's Greyhounds for the first time.
Kluche shoots and scores! What a goal! Jacob Kluche's first in the OHL!
Great seats are still available, and bring the kids for pregame trick-or-treating in the Budweiser Render this Friday night at the Dow Event Center.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Attention everyone on Medicare.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Cut.
What? This is a Medicare annual enrollment ad.
Yeah, but for eHealth, we make Medicare easy, not stressful. You can compare plans in the Saginaw area from multiple insurance companies side by side.
So it's convenient.
And personal. Compare plans that cover your doctors, your medications, and your budget.
Personal.
Plus, you'll get free unbiased support from eHealth's licensed insurance agents with no obligation to enroll.
I see it now. eHealth's like a helpful guide or...
Your Medicare matchmaker.
Exactly. Okay, here we go. Medicare plans change every year. Find the plan for you by comparing all-in-one plans all in one place at eHealth, your Medicare matchmaker.
Nailed it.
Get started at eHealth.com or call 1-800-975-1891 to speak to a licensed insurance agent.
That's 1-800-975-1891.
All voices are paid actors. This ad is not from the government. It's from eHealth, an insurance agency selling plans for many insurance companies.
2 times the healthy blood pressure support? That's a number to rave about. Thanks to Superbeats Heart Chew's unique 2X ingredient that helps promote normal blood pressure nearly 2 times more effectively than diet and exercise alone. Superbeats is America's #1 selling beet brand and the only #1 cardiologist, doctor, and pharmacist recommended beet brand for heart health support. A clinical study showed that the key ingredient in Superbeats Heart Chews is nearly 2 times more effective at supporting normal blood pressure than a healthy lifestyle alone. And they're part of a brand with over 60,000 5-star ratings and reviews. So double your potential with a special offer exclusively for radio listeners. Get a free 30-day supply of Superbeats Heart Chews and 15% off your first order at getsuperbeats.com with code RADIO. That's a free 30-day supply and 15% off for radio listeners only at getsuperbeets.com, code RADIO.
The back-to-back Big Ten champions are hungry for more.
He's in the clear, to the 10, to the 5, tipped in, intercepted.
What a great catch.
Into the blue, touchdown, Wolverines.
Join us each week as Doug Karsh, John Jansen, and Jason Avant bring you every exciting moment from the 2023 Michigan football season, right here on your home for the Wolverines.
University of Michigan football, brought to you by Lingle Equipment, returns November 4th on 790 AM WSGW.
This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of WSGW.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. It's Friday, everybody. Looking forward to the weekend. But after listening to Charlie this morning and our friends at WNEM, I don't know if I'm looking forward to the weather change ahead. That's, you know what? I could deal with summer until about December 20th, a week of Christmas music and songs, and then back to 80 degrees. So I guess we're going to have to be hardier, folks, and get ready to enjoy Michigan in all of its glory and its weather. But we're here to talk about keeping you indoors next week when the weather's going to be cold and it's not going to be the greatest. And you're going to think to yourself, geez, I don't want to be outside. We have an idea for you. We're going to put you indoors at the Midland Tennis Center for the Dow Tennis Classic, here with Jeff Reckaway and Ben Moore talking about the Dow Tennis Classic. And when we went into the last break, we were talking about the food. And so those of you that are listening may be wondering why we're talking about food in the Great Lakes Bay region as it relates to the Tennis Classic. But I got to tell you, folks, I've had some of the most interesting and tasty tacos I've ever had at the Dow Tennis Classic. Jeff and Ben, can you talk about the food offerings that can go along with some of the ticket options and how this becomes so much more than just a tennis event?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've partnered with Dow Diamond Events that will provide. So we have dining and beverage 6 nights or 6 days of the event, Tuesday through Sunday, like we mentioned. So right before the evening matches, so Tuesday through Friday, that evening session starts at 7 as far as the matches. At 5:30, our dining starts, our food and beverage part. So Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Dow Events has different themes every night. Of course, Tuesday being Halloween, some pretty fun Halloween themed food and interesting names. We were laughing at some of the different things that were on the menu. And Thursday, we have the Great Hall that is providing an incredible display and incredible food. And it's an opportunity for these business to show off what they can do for other events that people may want. So you're getting their very best, as you would always, but we're getting their very best for a great opportunity for them to show off. So we'll have, 400 to 700 people that we're providing a great experience in the food and beverage side of things. So the tennis center looks entirely different during this event. We have 2 courts that'll be carpeted, piped, and draped. It's a great presentation of you, as you've seen, Matt, and a great opportunity to network and visit with friends in a really relaxed and fun atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I said, with the weather the way it's going to be next week, I know I'm going to make my way over there for an evening, because it's a perfect way to see great entertainment, but honestly, great women's professional tennis here in our backyard. It's great to only have to drive 30 minutes. Hey, guys, for those who haven't been out there, because we talk about this being a hidden gem, which, Jeff, we're going to talk about after the show. We're going to make this not so hidden so that everyone really knows about it much, much more. For those that haven't been there, where exactly are you located? How does the parking work? How far in advance should folks go? These are the type of questions that people really ask when they're going to head out to an event.
Oh, absolutely. And again, for those that aren't taking notes, you can go to dowtennisclassic.com and get the information. But we have VIP or parking passes that people can purchase with their tickets that allow them to park right here in our main parking lot right beside the building. We have general admission or just regular parking across the street, and the property we have there, it's a grass parking lot, but they're allowed to park there. And then we partnered with Members First Credit Union here on Wackerly. So we're at 900 East Wackerly, right beside Highway 10, just down from Jefferson, the interchange of Jefferson and Wackerly. And Members First Credit Union's right on Wackerly. And Midland Public Schools, we've also partnered with to provide the transportation starting at 5 o'clock in the evening from Members First parking lot. And they drive you right up to the entrance of the tennis center for people to come in. So that's a great convenience, especially as we talk about the weather, Matt, that can happen. It's certainly better in October, November than it was in February. But there's a lot of great opportunities that we make it easy for patrons to get here and check things out.
Absolutely. So, Ben, question for you, because in the last segment, I want to chat a little bit more about tennis in the Great Lakes Bay region and how, this is a 1-week event, how folks can utilize the tennis center year round. But Ben, the question I have for you, you've been around a lot of these tournaments. You've seen how things are done. You've seen the highs and lows. In your mind, when you look at the Dow Tennis Classic, what makes this event so great here in our region?
Yeah, the Dow Tennis Classic is truly phenomenal. You're bringing, some of the top professional women's tennis players in the world, players that are playing at Wimbledon, at the U.S. Open, at the Australian Open. They're coming here to Midland, to play tennis and put on a show. And this community is just such a tight knit community. Obviously, Jeff's the rock star here, but this facility is fantastic. The food and beverage offerings are great. It's easily accessible for people to come see the matches at a lot of tournaments at this level. Like, you could be paying, an arm and a leg to get food and beverage included. Whereas here, you can get all inclusive food and beverage for $80 with no extra ticket fees. It's just flat $80. You can purchase that online. You can purchase that here at the tennis center. But tickets are starting at $20 for the night sessions. Our day sessions are free. That's unheard of in certain tournaments. So, you're getting access to these top players to be a couple rows away, a couple feet, from the action for free during the daytime. And then at night, we have a little bit more of a party. And then that's ticketed. But it's a great facility, a great just entertainment value. And it's top tier tennis that you can't get anywhere else.
Love it. Well, gentlemen, let's be clear. When I arrive, it will be at party time. The only way to do it. Hey, we're going to take one more break, but when we're back, we're going to chat about the Midland Tennis Center and how you can use that facility year round.
For almost 25 years, Line-X has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust-proofing and undercoating?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Line-X have the only wax-based rust-proofing and military-spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty. No yearly touch-ups required.
And because their rust-proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Line-X is located on Wilder Road in Bay City. Give them a call at 989-671-9820.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820. That's 989-671-9820.
Retirement is more than a newly discovered free time. It's a time to reflect on how you will be remembered and your legacy. It's important to make proper arrangements now. Tune in to WSGW every Sunday at 8 a.m. to your Financial Empower Hour with Jason Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment Advisors in Midland. Learn how to structure your retirement savings to increase the value of your estate and help leave the legacy you want. Plus, call Great Lakes Investment Advisors today, and they will include a complimentary Legacy Maximizer. 989-835-7203. That's 989-835-7203. This commercial shall in no way be construed as solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Super Cute in Freeland. You can get a $25 gift certificate for just $12.50. That's half off. Super Cute is a home decor and gift shop that features trendy clothing, holiday clothing, giftable items, and so much more. Visit them on Facebook and head over to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
Active Liver is one of many award-winning health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at Amazon.com or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Available as a tablet or delicious sugar-free gummy. Protect and help your liver the easy and effective way with Active Liver at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Good Friday morning, and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. It's Matt Felan with the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, filling in for Art. I'm here this morning with the Dow Tennis Classic. Jeff Reckaway, Executive Director of the Midland Tennis Center. Ben Moore with Top Notch. Jeff, we have talked quite a bit about the Dow Tennis Classic, but I actually like to spend this last segment talking about the Midland Tennis Center because it is such a shining jewel and a unique asset to have in a region our size. Clearly, I look and I see how well our tennis teams play at the high school level in Midland. Having a facility like that clearly has to have an impact. How can folks utilize the Dow Tennis the Dow Tennis Center year round? What kind of offerings are there? Classes? Are there leagues? Are there drop-in? What I'm really fascinated in is how our listeners, after they go out next week and really enjoy themselves, how they can utilize it for the next 51 weeks.
I appreciate that. And I could just say yes to all.
Well, everyone have a good day. He said yes to all. We're done.
Yeah.
Well, I guess maybe some specifics would be helpful.
Yeah. No. So it's great. So we do offer membership. So as a member, we have everything from junior memberships to full family memberships, which also include senior memberships that give you discounts to all the offerings that we do have. Our model is your membership gives you access, and then if you're rewards, then you pay per hour for court rental. But we keep it very, very reasonable, especially when you look at other facilities, even in our state, let alone when you get to a metropolitan area that would have a facility. And again, I'm partial to our facility, but let's just say less than what we offer, and people pay a lot more. When you look at a tennis center like ours, it's most places it's very similar to being a member at a country club. So you're paying an initiation fee that can be very high, plus very high monthlies. We are literally $20 a month on juniors. You have membership and access to everything we offer. On the high end, it's $44 a month for an individual and $60 for a full family a month to be a member here. And then we have everything from, we call it Tennis 101. So you've never played, you've maybe never held a racket. We teach you the basics. It's a session long. So a lot of times 6 to 8 week, 1 day a week, come in for, an hour and learn tennis, then advance to Tennis 102. And then we also have juniors, which is the lifeblood of our program. Everything from preschool all the way through high school. And we have an incredible history, and a great segue is talking about Ellie Coleman, who is a player at Duke and who went through our junior program, is playing in the Dow Tennis Classic. So she's going to be playing in the doubles with Chloe Beck, a partner of hers, and then she will be in the qualifying for the singles here. But that's a young lady that went through our junior program, was ranked in the top 10 nationally at each age level as she progressed. And that's something that we're working really hard. We're very proud to be a part of, and Dow High School winning the Division II state tournament back-to-back now. Bullock Creek won the regional for the first time in school history. And a lot of those kids are taking part in our junior program. But we're really working hard towards getting nationally level players again, too. So we have a couple paths, a recreational and national level type training. And we need both of those. And it's okay if you're not wanting or able to commit to the national level. We have the recreational level as well. And then adults.
Hey, Jeff, we are hitting our time. So, no, this is great. We appreciate everything. We will be back on the Art Lewis Show.
Mercantile Bank is committed to delivering financial solutions that empower businesses to achieve their goals. We take time to understand you and what makes your business unique. From commercial and business banking to treasury and HCM tools, our local team is here to help you take your business to the next level. So when you need a financial partner, Merck is here. To learn more, visit us online at merckbank.com/business. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, Art Lewis here. And after many years in several vehicles, I finally get to talk about my car dealer, McDonald Ford, on M47 in Freeland. McDonald Ford wants you to know they are now buying cars. You can sell your vehicle by beginning the process by simply sending 7 photos of your car to joe@mcdonaldford.com. Photos must be of the front, rear, left, and right sides, car's interior, dashboard showing vehicle mileage, and a photo of your title showing the VIN number. Receive an offer, and you decide. Payment is on the spot and includes all paperwork and lien release. Don't wait. Put cash in your pocket today and tell your friends and family too. Send your photos to joe@mcdonaldford.com. That's joe@mcdonaldford.com. Oh, by the way, mention my name, Art Lewis, and they'll throw in a free lunch with the deal. McDonald Ford, 6790 Midland Road in Freeland, devoted to helping and serving you.
2 late-night superstars. The Tonight Show's Jay Leno.
The economy is so bad, I turned on The Biggest Loser, saw my 401k.
And special guest Arsenio Hall.
The shaving head is all new. Eventually, you don't choose your haircut choose you.
Friday, December 8th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Tickets start at $56 and are on sale now at the box office or etix.com. Party hard, laugh louder with Jay Leno and special guest Arsenio Hall. December 8th at Soaring Eagle Casino.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A day and a half after 18 people were killed in a mass shooting at a bar in a bowling alley in southern Maine, a massive manhunt for the suspect has expanded from New York to Canada. Correspondent Jerika Duncan reports.
Law enforcement searched late into the night for Robert Card, with SWAT teams, K-9 units, and helicopters scouring his hometown, Bowdoin, Maine. At one point, officers in armored vehicles appeared to surround one home in particular that's believed to be Card's last known address. They were there for more than an hour without explanation. Ultimately, they left without a suspect.
CBS News has learned that suspect, 40-year-old Army reservist Robert Card, used a semi-automatic assault rifle with an extended magazine and a scope. Doctors treating the wounded are dealing with the results. Richard King is chief of trauma at Central Maine Medical Center in Lewiston.
This was the first time that I'd actually taken care of someone with high velocity gunshot wounds. So to actually see them in person and see the destructive ability of those rounds was really quite sobering.
An embattled New York congressman is expected at court on Long Island this hour. CBS's Scott McFarland.
George Santos, already facing fraud charges, appears before a judge to face new accusations that he took his campaign donors' identities and used them to rack up unauthorized credit card charges. He's pleaded not guilty in the case.
The Pentagon says U.S. fighter jets launched attacks in Syria overnight in retaliation for drone and missile attacks on U.S. troops in the Middle East. CBS News military analyst Jeff McCausland says he's not convinced it'll prevent more attacks.
These groups probably move around, come up to a base, pull up a truck, launch these rockets pretty quickly and move away. So it's unclear to me that this will actually eliminate that particular capability. And certainly Iran has the capacity to move more missiles and rockets into those areas should it desire to do so.
New numbers for the Fed to mull over as it considers another round of interest rate hikes. The Commerce Department says inflation was up 0.3% in September, but consumer spending was even stronger, up by 0.7%. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
With inflation slowly coming down, expectations are for the Federal Reserve to take no action at the 2-day policy meeting next week.
You'll recognize the guy throwing out the first pitch at the opening game of the World Series in Arlington, Texas tonight.
Please welcome the President of the United States.
Former President George Bush, who used to own the Rangers, will do the honors when Texas hosts the D-backs. This is CBS News.
If you need to hire, you need Indeed, because Indeed's all-in-one hiring solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
For 3 days only, mark your calendars and cancel your plans. The Art Noe Appliance VIP sale is happening November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. They're celebrating their new name by offering unbelievable deals and giving away awesome prizes. For 3 days only, Art Noe Appliance will have incredible deals on just about everything in the store. Deals on Maytag, KitchenAid, Whirlpool, Electrolux, Frigidaire, and more. On top of better than Black Friday pricing, they pay your sales tax on items in stock. You won't find a better deal than the Art Noe Appliance 3-day VIP sale. Great prices and great prizes. You can enter to win an ice maker, pots and pans, and even a full-size front-load washer and dryer. And while you're shopping and saving money at Art Noe Appliance, you can enjoy delicious treats, sweets, and beverages from our friends at Baines Apple Valley. Shop the VIP sale online at artnoeappliance.com. Plus, make sure to stop into one of our 3 locations in Saginaw, Frankenmuth, or the outlet in Shields. That's 3 days, 3 locations, and better than Black Friday pricing at Art Noe Appliance.
Attention everyone on Medicare.
Whoa. Cut.
What? This is a Medicare annual enrollment ad.
Yeah, but for eHealth, we make Medicare easy, not stressful. You can compare plans in the Saginaw area from multiple insurance companies side by side.
So it's convenient.
And personal. Compare plans that cover your doctors, your medications, and your budget.
Personal.
Plus, you'll get free unbiased support from eHealth's licensed insurance agents with no obligation to enroll.
I see it now. eHealth's like a helpful guide or...
Your Medicare matchmaker.
Exactly. Okay, here we go. Medicare plans change every year. Find the plan for you by comparing all-in-one plans all in one place at eHealth, your Medicare matchmaker.
Nailed it.
Get started at eHealth.com or call 1-800-975-1891 to speak to a licensed insurance agent.
That's 1-800-975-1891.
All voices are paid actors. This ad is not from the government. It's from eHealth, an insurance agency selling plans for many insurance companies.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how's the back pain now?
22.
Wonky work from home desks have Dane's Acupuncture booked up.
You need to get in, but this week's all full.
But finding more practitioners has them on pins and needles.
You know, my lunch is in 20 minutes. How fast can you get here?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 64 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. Victim in a fatal crash in Isabella County has been identified. Police say 29-year-old Dylan Andrus of Lake was riding a dirt bike with a friend in the 7,000 block of West Stevenson Lake Road in Coldwater Township around 9:15 a.m. on Wednesday, when the owner of a home in the area, a 54-year-old man, began to chase the pair in a 2020 GMC pickup truck. Police say the victim and his friend were riding their bikes on the man's property. The older man allegedly rammed at the back of Andrus's dirt bike, which led to his death. The suspect was arrested on a charge of reckless driving causing death, but has yet to be formally arraigned. The Northwood University eSports team is qualified to participate in the 2023 Red Bull Collegiate Valorant National Championship in Chicago. Following their World Championship title in the 2022 Red Bull Campus Clutch World Final in Sao Paulo, Brazil, the team has also won a number of national championships over the past year. According to Coach Cody Elson, if Northwood's Valorant team wins at Nationals, it will go on to compete for the global title in Istanbul, Turkey on November 19th through the 24th. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Greetings, Saginaw County veterans and families. Did you know that Saginaw now has a Veteran Service Center, and it is located in the YMCA of Saginaw? It is also the new home of the Michigan Veterans Trust Fund. The Veteran Service Office is staffed with state-accredited service officers who are ready to assist veterans and their dependents, all for potential benefits. Call the Veteran Service Center in the YMCA of Saginaw at 517-927-6692. That's 517-927-6692.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck
To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. High-speed internet is coming to some Michigan communities. Governor Gretchen Whitmer announced the first round of the Robin Grant program to connect underserved Michigan homes and businesses to broadband. The program will provide $238 million in federal funding to support the installation of high-speed internet to more than 90,000 locations, including 1,500 in the Bay region. Metro Detroit avoided a potential crisis having to do with an international pest. Michigan News Network's Luke Sloan explains.
A rare but potentially harmful pest to Michigan crops was intercepted at the Port of Detroit last month. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officials say the elusive Egyptian locust was a stowaway on a shipping container from Italy. The locust is classified as an invasive species, mainly calling Europe its home. Officials with the Port of Detroit say that if the locust managed to gain a foothold in the U.S., there could have been disastrous outcomes. I'm Luke Sloan for the Michigan News Network.
Detroit police say they've identified multiple persons of interest in the stabbing death of synagogue leader Samantha Wall as their investigation continues. The 40-year-old Wall, leader of the Isaac Agree Downtown Synagogue, was found stabbed to death outside her Lafayette Park home early Saturday morning. Police say there is no evidence to suggest her murder is a hate crime. Anyone with information in the case is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP. Romeo has been named one of the best small towns in the whole country for Halloween. Travel Magazine says the small village in Macomb County goes beyond just decorations and candy, saying the town comes together with a seriously spooky celebration. They specifically cite Terror on Tilson Street, which draws thousands of visitors as people decorate their historic homes along Tilson Street and carve special pumpkins. WSGW News Time, 10:10. I'm Mike Percha. Now, here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
This Friday is the last day of warmth for this week. We'll have a high of 70 degrees today. Still a breezy southwest wind gusting to around 30 miles per hour. We'll have a cold front moving through this evening. That'll start to cool us down into the weekend, but it will bring us one more round of some scattered showers this evening before a dry day on Saturday. We are expecting a lot of dry time, though, during the middle of your Friday as well. It's not until the late afternoon and the evening where those showers pick back up. For tonight, we'll have a low of 42 degrees, then a high of only 52 on Saturday, but partly to mostly cloudy, completely dry through Saturday. Then on Sunday, a high of 46, and we are still tracking some rain showers for Sunday, but the better chance there will be from Saginaw and south, so Flint having the best chance over the weekend. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Right now, it's 66 degrees at WSGW.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Good morning and welcome to the Art Lewis Show. This is Matt Felan with the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, and I'm filling in for Art for the next 7 business days. Art's on a well-deserved and much-needed vacation, so we are chatting about a lot of issues relating to the Great Lakes Bay region. But it's a Friday, everybody, and it's a Friday during football season, and even one more step, it's a Friday of high school football season, and it's the kickoff to the state playoffs today. And so I thought, you know what? So many of us love high school sports. It's a region that is a long history and thrives on their local passion of high school sports. Let's chat about the high school football playoffs. So I brought in the experts this time. And I'm not going to lie, I brought in 2 Hall of Famers. I don't know how they made it through the door, but they did. Hugh Bernreiter with MLive, the Saginaw News. Lee Thompson, MLive, the Bay City Times. Good morning, gentlemen.
Yay.
Morning.
So we got to start. Hugh, I'm going to throw you under the bus right away. Hall of Fame. I saw the post this week. I saw Lee giving congratulations. What Hall of Fame has brought you in?
The Saginaw County Sports Hall of Fame. It's basically, if you get old enough, and hang around long enough, they give you things like this. And, at some, my check's in the mail. I mean, I'm paying these people to get me in, but postage due probably.
I love it. Seriously, congratulations to you. How long have you been with the Saginaw News covering high school sports now?
I started part-time in 1981. Full-time in 86. So a few years.
1981. I did.
Covering 5 different decades.
Trying to figure out which year of elementary school I was in at that point. It was an early year on top of it.
Well, at least you were born. I get a lot of those. I haven't even born then.
I guess I was 7 if I'm doing the math here correctly. And Lee Thompson, let's not sell you short. You're a Hall of Famer in your own right, correct?
Oh, yes. You can see I'm still wearing the jacket. Yeah, I'm going to break one of my rules and say something nice about Hugh here. This guy is an absolute machine when it comes to his job. He's like on the job around the clock. I know nobody puts more time and effort into covering Saginaw area than this guy right here. And I do enjoy giving him a hard time, but he deserves everything he's getting here.
You don't see it on radio, but I'm blushing.
Well, Lee clearly pivoted away from himself, but I do believe you were put in the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame with the President's Award years back for your work. And for our listeners, Lee, How long have you been covering high school sports? Just not with the Bay City Times, but in your career. Unfortunately, I remember your very early days in Mount Pleasant.
Yes. I'm going to pivot away one more time. That President's Award that you're familiar with because your father got it also.
He did. He was a voice for a long time.
It's also, it's definitely a proud moment for me too. But I've been in at the Bay City Times since 1996. And just celebrated my 27-year anniversary at my hometown newspaper. That's kind of pretty cool.
Yeah, you guys.
Did you want to talk about our previous experience?
No, I don't know if I have the energy for that. Now we have to. I mean, if we're leading in,
we will at some point.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Yeah, Lee, before he joined the Bay City Times, was with another publication, and he had to cover yours truly in about 1991 and 92. So we may get to that here this morning. But let's start here, gentlemen. It's playoffs time. How well is the region represented this year in the state playoffs?
Well, we've got in the Saginaw area 15 teams qualified, and some are playing each other. So well represented. Some, several teams are ranked in the top 5 in the state. So we expect several to go on decent runs. So well represented. Yeah. But 15, we usually get, 12, 13, 14, 15 teams in. So it's a typical year. And there's a couple teams that we could see going on nice long playoff runs.
Yep. And Lee, how about in the Bay City Times coverage area?
Yeah, we've got 10. I covered 22 high school football teams this year, and 10 of those are in the playoffs. So if those who aren't familiar with my area, I go as far north as Oscoda and then go into the Thumb too. So when I say Bay City area, I'm talking about our coverage area. So it's a little bit stretching the boundaries a bit, but we have 10 teams, and I'd say that's fairly typical.
Yeah, as you guys can see, I'm already in team colors today. We for our listeners, my son is a junior at Bay City Western High School. So unlike our friends in Midland who get to play each other in their home stadium and drive around the corner, we get a little jaunt up to Gaylord tonight. Had to start packing early because apparently it'll be 70 degrees when the game starts and 40 when the game ends, with the potential for thunderstorms and rain and who else knows what. So trust me when I tell you that I'm going to be out there in the elements, living it tonight. So let's start. Hugh,
do you or any Western followers have any complaints about going to Gaylord this week?
It's I wouldn't mind a quick flight that might serve us better, but in terms of matchups, it could have been worse. There are worse places we'd have to go, but we will get to that. But I'd like to start. Hugh, you brought up a good point. There are teams that qualify, and there are teams that contend. We'd love to hear from both of you. For our listeners, who has a chance to make a long run and who has a legitimate chance of winning a state championship?
Well, I think I think Frankenmuth has a good chance of making a long run. At least, they play Ogama. If everything goes according to plan, they would end up playing like Ogama Heights in the regional, and then they would play one of the Grand Rapids teams, and that's kind of the roadblock for a lot of teams. West Catholic and Catholic Central have been dominant teams this year, so they could get to the semifinals, and it would, it'd be a great win if they get to the finals again, because that's been their trip the last 3 or 4 years. They've semifinals and finals. It's regular. The team I think that actually has the best shot is probably Freeland, and they lost one game to Frankenmuth, but D4 is not as strong as it used to be, and I think there's an opening there. You always look and see who else is in the division, right?
Yeah,
there are all beatable teams in Division 4 where if you're really good, you get on a nice run. They've been in the semifinals 2 of the last 3 years, and last year they lost to the state champion Goodrich 10-9 after they got a punt blocked in the final seconds. So they've always been right there, and they could make a nice little run, and I could see them. I mean, it's not going to be easy. It never is when you get to a certain point, but they could make a nice run. If Ithaca can get out of their district, they could have a nice run. A great team. They dropped to Division 8, so they should be, in a good position. Unfortunately for them or the other teams in the district, they get put in with like 2 other powerhouses in New Lothrop and Fowler, both 8-1 and both really good. And even Michigan Lutheran Seminary is in that district, and they're not a bad 6-3 team. That's a loaded district. So if they can get out of there, they'll be okay. And the wild card too might be Heritage. They got 2 or 3 of the skill players who are incredible. The Braylon Isom kid, the quarterback Ethan Mason's good. I mean, they have legitimately good players. They got kind of a good district draw, depending on how you want to look at it. They play 4 and 5 Traverse City Central, and then they play the winner of Midland Dow, Midland High, both 5 and 4. So it's a nice little district where they can get some momentum, get a nice little run. At some point, they're going to hit some really good teams, though, in Division 2. So Mount Pleasant in Division 3 might have a nice little run. They have like the second most playoff points. So depending on how things break, it's all about, it's kind of funny. You can be the second best team in the state and not get out of your district, depending on what the draw is. And you may be the number 10 team in the state. And if you got a nice little draw where you things fall your way, you can make a long run.
Breaking down a few of those that you just brought up, the Ithaca one stuck out to me because I thought, wow, Ithaca dropping down from D6 to D8 with the runs they've had the last 20 years, they're going to be in perfect position. And you get Fowler in week 1. And I mean, that's a longtime state power who's playing exceptionally well. I was like, wow, thanks, but no thanks. I mean, that was really difficult. And then the Freeland Frankenmuth is fascinating because it's the same conference. They play each other year in and year out. It's a dynamic conference where those teams have been making runs. Freeland's still relatively young of a team this year. Frankenmuth started with a very tough loss to Goodrich where they got beat in week 1, but they've been rolling ever since. It's interesting to look at those because, yeah, you're right. I mean, when you saw what Frankenmuth did to Gladwin last week, dismantling them 38-0, it looks like they're really hitting their stride here as they enter the playoffs. But it's fascinating that you think both teams have a shot.
Frankenmuth to a certain point. I still think it goes through the 2 Grand Rapids teams.
You know what? It was a Gladwin who got over that hump last year for the region, beating one of those Grand Rapids teams.
Yep.
Well,
those Grand
I
Rapids
reminded
teams,
you of that this morning.
But they rebuild pretty quickly.
Yeah, they do. Those are programs that reload.
It reminded me of that
in a hurry.
Yeah.
And then you brought up Saginaw Heritage, and I'll tell you, I had a chance to watch them in person for 1/2 this year. And it was the first game of the year. They played at home against Mount Pleasant. And I'll tell you, Isom, no question, great ball player, great wide receiver. But the kid who stuck out to me was Ty Robertson, who just did not look like a high school football player in his uniform and pads. And any guy who plays running back / defensive end gets my attention. My son plays cornerback, and he saw him. He goes, yeah, I would want no part of that. And if I were going to tackle him, it would be somewhere at the grass level.
Yep.
That is that's a man playing with boys.
He's committed to Saginaw Valley as a defensive lineman, and he actually can run reasonably well. He runs over people, and he carries people. If you saw him against Mount Pleasant, he was carrying people, and that's, I mean, they could run well, and they can obviously throw the ball, and I mean, Isom has incredible career and all that, incredible stats. What throws me is that he's not really a focal point of their offense. I mean, they run the ball. It's 60-40. It's not like they're a West Coast offense, and he gets his 5 or 6 passes, 2 or 3 touchdowns, but he's not the focus of that, and he still put up incredible numbers.
So I got to tell you, our producer, Jonathan Dent, is going to have to do serious work during this hour to keep us on schedule. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and hear from Lee Thompson and teams that have a shot in the Bay City coverage area after these messages.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Jesse Kelly here. Do you feel protected? My personal protection plan is owning gold. The Oxford Gold Group helps you buy gold to have on hand or convert it into your 401k. If things get weird, I have gold on hand. I like that. You can buy coins or convert part of your 401k with the Oxford Gold Group. It's easy and safe. 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD. 833-995-GOLD. I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened mostly higher. The mood brightened after inflation readings for September showed some improvement. The PCE index for the year ending last month moderated to 3.4%, and core inflation, excluding food and energy, also retreated to 3.7%. Amazon shares are up nearly 6%. Amazon's profit tripled in the recent quarter to nearly $10 billion. Cloud computing, advertising, and its retail businesses were all strong. The company expects to make tens of billions from AI tied to its cloud computing, and the success of its fall sale is making Amazon encouraged about the holiday season. Intel shares opened 8% higher. Its quarter was better than predicted, and the chip maker is seeing demand improve. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Jesse Kelly here. Do you feel protected? My personal protection plan is owning gold. The Oxford Gold Group helps you buy gold to have on hand or convert it into your 401k. If things get weird, I have gold on hand. I like that. You can buy coins or convert part of your 401k with the Oxford Gold Group. It's easy and safe. 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD. 833-995-GOLD.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. Happy Friday. And I think for those of you listening, you know it is the Friday of high school football playoffs here in the Great Lakes Bay region. A unique opportunity today to be joined by Lee Thompson with the Bay City Times, Hugh Burnreiter with the Saginaw News, two literal Hall of Famers in their professions, talking about high school football. So last segment, Hugh told us about who the contenders are in the Saginaw coverage area. Lee, who are the true contenders in the Bay City area that have a shot? And let's be fair, getting to a state championship is very difficult and not often done out of the Bay City Times coverage area. Who can at least make a significant run out of the Bay City area?
Yeah, those state titles are few and far between in the Bay City area. Last year, Gladwin won the state championship in that great game with Frankenmuth. And they were our area's first state champion in 18 years. So,
wow, 18 years, really?
18 years, yeah.
Who was it 18 years ago?
Unionville Sebewaing, 2004.
That makes sense. That does make sense.
Yeah.
Has Ubley not won one in that time frame?
Ubley's not in my coverage area.
Oh, yeah. I automatically put the whole
That
thumb
would
in your
change the
coverage area.
stats a
That
little
would
bit.
change
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't say that there is a state title contender in the midst, but probably our two best teams are playing each other in the first round, and that's Ogama Heights and Gladwin. You know, Gladwin's the defending state champion, and those two teams played each other in week one, and it was the best game I've seen this year. It was an absolute brawl, and I loved it. And it was tied in the fourth quarter, and Gladwin tipped the scales on a scoop and score and ended up winning that game. But since then, Ogama has just demolished some really good teams. So they seem to be the team that is everybody's favorite right now. How far they can go, we'll see. That they'll have to pass a big test right off the bat with Gladwin. So in our area, no state championship aspirations very often. It seems like every playoff game is kind of a state championship for our local teams. And if Bay City Western could win the first round at Gaylord, that would feel like a state championship. And then if Bay City All Saints could win their first game at Marion, that would feel like a state championship. So those are kind of what we lean on. Those kind of victories.
Lee, you're hitting me, right in the hurts here with both these games. For the listeners, I went to Bay City All Saints, and when I was a sophomore, we lost on a missed field goal, 22-20 in a snowstorm. As a junior, we lost
to Marion, right?
To Marion,
yes.
Yeah. We lost to Marion in the junior year. We played them twice at home, a 6-6 tie, but then got demolished in the playoffs, 28-0. And as a senior up there, we lost 14-13 on a missed extra point and a what we will still call to this day a questionable face mask penalty in a pile on 4th and 1. So I'm rooting hard for the old alumni as an alumni, for All Saints to go up there and win for once up at Marion.
Were you the kicker? Just wondering.
No, I was not the kicker. No, I was not the kicker. I mean, we had a really good kicker. I don't actually think it was the kick. It may have been the hold and the snap, but it's I'm rooting hard for All Saints. Let's talk about the Saginaw Valley League though for a second, because that's a lot of the big schools here in our area and for our listeners. So on the plus side, out of the Saginaw Valley League North, there were 5 teams that qualified for the playoffs. The only 2 that did not were Traverse City West and Bay City Central. But we had 5 qualifiers in Mount Pleasant who won the North. And then there was kind of a logjam. You just kind of never knew who was going to win the games this year. Midland High, Midland Dow, Bay City Western, Traverse City Central, all of them into the playoffs. What are you guys' thoughts as kind of like the larger conference here in our region? What do you guys think about the Saginaw Valley League North this year? Because it was definitely a little confusing to watch.
Well, they don't match up well with the Saginaw Valley South, right? Those teams are a little bit loaded right now.
But we say that Midland High beat Lapeer and beat him pretty good.
Yeah.
And then turned around and really suffered a tough loss to Midland Dow. That one shocked me when Midland beat Lapeer like that.
Midland High was weird, although they got, and I thought last week was the shocker, because when Midland High got Jalen Brown back, who missed the first half of the season, great running back. He's just a stud running back. I thought once they got him back, they were going to, and they did it to Lapeer. And then they like totally, blew it against Midland Dow. That was a stunner to me. Not so much the Lapeer one, because when Jalen Brown came back, that helped Midland a lot. They became a different team.
So they stunned me twice. Once, I never thought Bay City Western could beat Midland High once Jalen came back. And it was a very good game. But Western really kind of wore them down in the fourth quarter, and they got Aiden Robinson out and running. And the next thing you know, they ran away with that game. But I wrote, Lee, you guys both do your pick'ems. And I will state this. I am the reigning champion of the Lee Thompson pick'em. Thanks for the drawing there last year.
Yeah, you got a couple shirts, don't you?
I have a couple shirts. They don't fit so well anymore, but I have a couple shirts. I mentioned, though, that I thought the best coaching job I've seen this year was Midland Dow and Coach Peterson and the gang, of what they were able to accomplish with a very young team and totally unexpected. And the point I made on Lee's post, last year, Bay City Western scored 70 points against Midland Dow, and this year they scored 7. I thought they did an amazing job this year with that team and that staff.
I don't know if I picked Midland Dow or Midland High right all year. It was so up and down, and it's like, oh, Midland High's doing well, and then they get beat big, and then I don't know if I got one right with those two teams. They've been inconsistent. I mean, kind of a lot of the teams in the Saginaw Valley League North. I know Heritage right now is saying that they don't like the Traverse City teams, because when the Traverse City teams came in, Heritage got sent to the South, and they didn't. I'm sure they didn't like that. One, the traditional rivalries that they have with Western, Central, all those, they lost those. Plus, now all of a sudden they're playing Davison, and even though Lapeer is still a decent team, Grand Blanc, I mean, some big schools. And I know that right now they're saying, if we were in the Saginaw Valley League North,
life would be easier.
Yeah.
And you raise a great point. Grand Blanc's like the 3rd or 4th biggest school in the state of Michigan at like 2,700 kids.
Yeah.
Davison, Lapeer, these are enrollments with huge numbers.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty tough deal for Heritage to have to deal with that.
And I know they would have loved to have won the Saginaw Valley League South. But the fact that they dominated Mount Pleasant, they dominated Midland Dow. Basically, they had their way with the Saginaw Valley League North when they played them in the non-conference games. And I know they can always think, what if, and I guess they can take it out on Traverse City Central tonight, right?
Which I believe they will. We're going to take another break. When we come back, I want to hear what you guys think are the best games that folks can go and watch here tonight, here on the Art Lewis Show.
Looking for bigger, bolder, better yields? Look no further than FSC. FS Envision Seed Corn and FS High Soy Soybeans are here to change the game. Our seed products deliver winning results every single time. Your local FS crop specialist is ready to take your farm and yields to the next level. Ready to change the game with bin-busting yields at harvest? Reach out to your local FS retailer or visit fsc.com.
Okay, everyone, gather around. It's time for corny jokes about passing the torch.
The team at Kirian's Welding was fused together solid.
Thanks for all the late nights and early shifts.
But double retirements mean the crew must bond with some certified new hires.
You've both gone the extra millimeter.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Jesse Kelly here. Do you feel protected? My personal protection plan is owning gold. The Oxford Gold Group helps you buy gold to have on hand or convert it into your 401k. If things get weird, I have gold on hand. I like that. You can buy coins or convert part of your 401k with the Oxford Gold Group. It's easy and safe. 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD. 833-995-GOLD.
You know, I grew up hearing that women are bad with money. But like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Offices in Detroit, Ann Arbor, and Grand Rapids. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys online at CordellCordell.com.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The WSGW online poll has to do with name, image, and likeness for Michigan high school student athletes. The Michigan House recently passed legislation to allow high school student athletes to benefit financially by entering into name, image, and likeness business agreements. About 20 other states already do this. Lawmakers worked with the Michigan High School Athletic Association to develop guidelines such as parental consent, barring agreements related to alcohol, prohibiting of wearing sponsor items. Now, it's estimated maybe 25 of the state's 180,000 student athletes might benefit. And this is just 2 years after college student athletes have been allowed to enter in NIL agreements. So the poll question, do you think that high school student athletes should be able to benefit financially using name, image, and likeness? It's yes, it's no, it's I'm not sure. It's a vote you can make by heading to WSW.com, scrolling down the homepage, and finding the poll box.
Your Morning Team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW. From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios, you are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. It's Matt Felan filling in as a guest host while Art's on a well-deserved vacation, and have the opportunity today to chat high school football as the playoffs start today. I'm here with Lee Thompson with the Bay City Times MLive and Hugh Burnrider with the Saginaw News MLive. And for our listeners, I'm going to ask this in one of two ways, because sometimes the first round games are set that you have superior teams playing teams that were happy to make the playoffs, right? So some of the matchups are difficult. But for our listeners who don't have plans tonight, they're thinking, hey, I should go catch a game. What are the best games that are taking place, or who are the best players that they should come and watch?
Well, my biggest problem with that is all of my games are a long way from where we're sitting right now. You know, Western going to Gaylord, and Gladwin Ogama is by far the best game, but you're gonna be driving an hour to get to that one. So Midland Dow. Can I take that one? If it's not too far out of the neighborhood, and they just came off of playing each other in week 9, and Midland Dow is the home team, which means absolutely nothing because they share a stadium, and that would be a great rivalry game to go catch, I would think, and the fact that they played 7 days ago only makes it more interesting.
Great bands too, by the way.
Phenomenal bands. We played, at Midland Community Stadium from Bay City Western, went over there. And for at least us that night, that was the best part of the night. The 300 person strong Midland Dow band. It's like watching a collegiate band. It's absolutely phenomenal. I'll tell you, Lee, you mentioned that, maybe the best player that's playing one of our teams is going to be up in Gaylord with the middle linebacker Brady Pretzlaff, who's heading to Minnesota. That'll be an eye-opening experience, I think, for some of the Western kids playing against a kid of that caliber, don't you think?
I've heard stories, so I think that's a lot of eyes will be on him for sure. He's a 6'3", 215 linebacker, and I hear he's an absolute load. And from what I understand, they run him out of an H-back, and he'll be coming at you full speed, and with somebody running the ball behind him.
My son asked me, what's your best advice? I said, hit him. So we'll see how that goes. For him.
And how big is your son?
He would be all of 5'11", 155 pounds.
Hit him low.
Good advice, Dad. Good advice, Dad.
Good luck, buddy.
Grab the ankles and hold on.
Hugh, for you, what are your best games in your coverage area, and who are some of the elite players that you think folks should come out and see tonight?
Obviously, Braylon Isom would be, for a player to watch, he'd be the guy. He's just fun to watch. He's great at high pointing the ball in the end zone. Odds are he's going to catch a touchdown pass. He catches one almost usually 2 every week, but might not be a great game. Actually, Garber Franklin, talking about great players. I love the Garber receiver.
Yep, Max Fellows, standout player for sure.
I mean, every time I've seen him, he's stood out, elite player. I mean, they've gotten killed every time I've seen him, but he's an elite player. As far as competitive wise, I'm looking at Swan Valley Birch Run. I mean, they played 2 weeks ago, 14-10, both identical records, kind of identical teams. So it should be, we're not talking 2 state championship teams playing, but as far as being competitive, that'd be good. Laker High Millington might not be. Some people say, "Oh, that's going to be a blowout," but I think that might be better than people think. Fowler Ithaca, that's at Ithaca though, so that's a drive. But as far as being competitive, and even I don't know, Bullock Creek Clare, or if you want to talk about that, Bullock Creek's is actually a pretty good team. They've lost some really close games to some good teams. They're not a push for a 4th seed. They're not a pushover.
Yeah, we both in our predictions listed that as an upset potential with Bullock Creek getting Clare, not because of anything of Clare's done, but because Bullock Creek has that potential and they've beaten some good teams. And plus, we're always looking for some kind of upset to throw out there, and that seemed to be the natural one.
Clare got my attention when they beat Petoskey because Petoskey's played a schedule of much larger teams than what Clare faces. And it was a 14-14 game at the half, and Clare really just kind of put the screws on defensively in the 4th quarter and came away with a 28-14 win over Petoskey. I thought that was a great win for Clare. So I was surprised to see that as kind of the upset special because I feel like they're hitting their stride a little bit and playing really well. The Pioneers, a traditionally powerful, great team up in Clare County and kind of the pride of that area.
That's a program that has its stuff together for sure. There's no doubt about it. Even though Gladwin's won that league 3 years in a row, I think everybody still looks at Clare as the team you go through in that conference, and it's just because they've got everything rolling. There are no rebuilding years up there, and they just opened a new indoor facility too. So good things happening to good people, and I expect that to continue there.
So, gentlemen, we're going to take one more break, but when we come back, we're going to really mix things up, and we're going to talk about the state of Michigan and Michigan State football, who seem to be making a lot of headlines for maybe not the best reasons. Here after these messages.
This segment of Our Community's Care is brought to you by the Saginaw Community Foundation. For the month of October, Saginaw Community Foundation proudly spotlights the Castle Museum of Saginaw County History. The Castle Museum of Saginaw County History is located in downtown Saginaw. When you see the big stone building with round towers and a tall red roof with green decorations, you'll know you're there. The Historical Society of Saginaw County is committed to serving the community by telling the continuing story of the people of the Saginaw region through exploration, preservation, and presentation of their historical and cultural heritage. The museum houses 3 floors of exhibits and displays, including the Saginaw County Sports Hall of Fame, lumbering, and automotive era. To explore all that the museum has to offer, visit their website at castlemuseum.org. Here, you can learn more about hours and admission, events and programs, tours and field trips, volunteer opportunities, and ways to give.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Now you can get a Walmart Plus membership, plus not pay for it, because it's included with Straight Talk wireless plans. You get free delivery with Walmart Plus a Paramount Plus subscription included. Plus, you pay less for gas. That's a lot of pluses.
Only Straight Talk gives you unlimited 5G data and Walmart Plus included on select plans for free.
Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Requires service on Gold or Platinum Unlimited. One offer per eligible account. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms apply.
I feel like I'm constantly cleaning hair off my bathroom floor.
At least my Swiffer Sweeper makes it easy. Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths have ultra-thick pads to trap and lock hairs, like a hair magnet. And when I'm finished cleaning up my hair, Sweeper takes care of his too. Now the hair's gone, all thanks to Swiffer. Try Swiffer Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths. I promise you'll love them or your money back. And also try Swiffer Sweeper Wet to make quick work of tough, sticky messes.
2 times the healthy blood pressure support? That's a number to rave about. Thanks to Superbeats Heart Chew's unique 2X ingredient that helps promote normal blood pressure nearly 2 times more effectively than diet and exercise alone. Superbeats is America's #1 selling beet brand and the only #1 cardiologist, doctor, and pharmacist recommended beet brand for heart health support. A clinical study showed that the key ingredient in Superbeats Heart Chews is nearly 2 times more effective at supporting normal blood pressure than a healthy lifestyle alone. And they're part of a brand with over 60,000 5-star ratings and reviews. So double your potential with a special offer exclusively for radio listeners. Get a free 30-day supply of Superbeats Heart Chews and 15% off your first order at getsuperbeats.com with code RADIO. That's a free 30-day supply and 15% off for radio listeners only at getsuperbeets.com, code RADIO.
Stays in the zone, barking near side. Cowan and a great save. Lalonde with the glove. Wow. Save of the night for Nolan Lalonde.
The Saginaw Spirit are back in action this Saturday, beginning at 6:50 on 100.5 FM WSGW.
Good morning and welcome to the final segment of the Art Lewis Show here on a Friday. Matt Felan filling in for Art. And I'm joined by the Hall of Famers, Lee Thompson and Hugh Bernreiter. We've just been chatting about the high school football playoffs, but as we were chatting, I think that we've gotten all the juice out of that lemon. So here for this last segment, let's talk about our Big Ten teams, Michigan and Michigan State. And I think we all saw that there's no question on the field, Michigan is the dominant football team. They've taken the rivalry back over. I laughed. The score was 49-0. It wasn't that close. That game could have been 80-0. But these are 2 programs that have found themselves in national headlines all fall for a lot of the wrong reasons. And it's, I'll tell you, as a Michigan State alum, season ticket holder, it's flat out embarrassing what's happened to the program, the coaching, and Michigan certainly seems to be in the crosshairs right now. But at the same time, they're having what could be their best year in a century. What are your takes on the state of the Michigan and Michigan State football programs, gentlemen?
People always ask me if I'm a Michigan or Michigan State fan, and I have no loyalties to either one. Believe it or not, I don't care. I go into that game every year with one hope, and that's that they entertain me. And they failed miserably this week, for sure.
So this is a true story, and you feel bad. It was halftime. I was there with my son and 2 of his buddies, and we're like, we're out of here. We're going to get P.F. Chang's. We're going to have some Chinese food because this is terrible. And I'll leave the specific names out of it. We were like, wow, we're horrible fans. And we walk into P.F. Chang's, and we sit down, and the table next to us are 3 starters from the MSU basketball team who apparently couldn't take another second of the game either. So we felt better. We're like, hey, if those guys are here, it's clearly not good.
He's not name dropping, but he's said P.F. Chang's multiple times.
It just happens to be where we went. You're welcome to the P.F. Chang's Corporation, by the way. But honestly, what's your take right now? Let's start with Michigan State with, what happened with Coach Tucker. There were findings this week where the university said that he was absolutely at fault and guilty of sexually harassing Brenda Tracy. They don't have a coach. It's not going well. What are your thoughts on what's happening in East Lansing, and what do they need to do?
Well, it was interesting that Mark D'Antonio is kind of involved now too, and I got a feeling he might be involved in picking the new coach, and that's the biggest thing to me right now. You better get someone in there, kind of like how the Houston Astros brought Dusty Baker in after that. You need to bring someone credible with a good reputation and try to rebuild the reputation. And then bring in people. And you know what? With the transfer portal nowadays, you can get guys. You can rebuild quickly. So again, you need the right people in charge, though. And what surprised me about the Michigan State game is that people who were surprised by the score, it's like, did anyone think it was going to be anything different? It was a blowout. You knew before it was a blowout 7 days before the game. So that surprised me that people were surprised. And I think Michigan State, if they get their, everything right, you can rebound quickly if you do things the right way. And the big thing is who they're going to hire as the next coach.
So now let's pivot to Michigan and Signgate. And it seems like a lot has been coming out. And it seems like someone's definitely out to get them, because there seems to be kind of a constant drip of more information. Yesterday, they kind of pivoted even to another case where the FBI is involved with crimes against a former assistant. But there's now accusations that they had fed the information to coaches at South Carolina for a game they had at Tennessee. And even more, that the TCU coaches knew, apparently, that they did this. So they created dummy signs to confuse Michigan. What is going on with this? Is this a real story? Is this a big story? Is this bad for Harbaugh and the program? Or is this, as they would say, a giant nothing burger?
Well, a lot of it stems from how successful they are, right? I think people are going to be coming at them because they're doing so well. That doesn't mean any of these things are not legitimate. The fact that Harbaugh seems to enjoy pushing the envelope opens him to these kind of issues. And people are coming at him left and right at this point.
Harbaugh has had issues before. I mean, like you said, he pushes the envelope. He sees a loophole, he goes for it. So we'll see.
It's one of those things that, you look at and you see, and you kind of think to yourself, well, wait a minute, they're on the sidelines showing their signs. And I've always kind of thought it was awkward, because shouldn't someone be looking at what's going on and saying, oh, hey, when they put that up, that means they're going to throw the ball, or hey, when they do this, that you would figure that out. And it's not different than baseball. Teams have been able to see for years how folks have used baseball signs, and they've worked in device systems, and the Astros got in a lot of trouble. But it definitely seems like there's maybe more to this right now, because it seems the level and the heat around this is really high. And then it's not just the NCAA that's looking at it, but it sounds like the Big Ten's closely looking at this and trying to figure out if they're going to take action, and whether they think that this year is somehow tainted because of all that's been going on. Where do you guys have been in the sports world a long time. You know this better than me. Where do you think this is headed?
Well, it's like the political environment. It's split down the middle right now. If you get on their social media, you'll see there's nobody who's wavering on it. You're either way left on the subject or way right on the subject. And I have a feeling that in the end, a whole lot of nothing is going to come out of it.
Well, except for the one assistant coach or whoever he is, probably might not get to go to as many games that they paid for him to go to all these different games. He may have to stay home a little more.
Yeah, that's you wonder how this all came to light. And some of the conspiracy theories on there was someone doing an audit of travel and said, hey, why are we paying for a low-level assistant to pay his buddies to buy tickets at games all across the Big Ten? What's going on here? It's going to be fascinating to hear how this really came out. There's also some rumblings that maybe their friends south of the border in Ohio put a trail of crumbs to the Big Ten and the NCAA and said, hey, follow this path.
Nothing would surprise me.
Obviously, they do nothing wrong. So
it's definitely something. I'll just to sum this up, we'll say it'll be great when we can read articles about Michigan and Michigan State, and they're in a positive light, and maybe not so many questions. But I want to thank Lee Thompson with the Bay City Times, MLive, Hugh Burnrider with the Saginaw News, MLive. Thank you for joining me today, and enjoy the playoff season ahead, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll be back after these messages.
Two late-night superstars, The Tonight Show's Jay Leno.
The economy is so bad, I turned on The Biggest Loser, saw my 401k.
And special guest Arsenio Hall.
The shaving head is all new. Eventually, you don't choose your haircut choose you.
Friday, December 8th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Tickets start at $56 and are on sale now at the box office or etix.com. Party hard, laugh louder with Jay Leno and special guest Arsenio Hall, December 8th at Soaring Eagle Casino.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more straight talk. Now you can get a Walmart Plus membership, plus not pay for it, because it's included with Straight Talk wireless plans. You get free delivery with Walmart Plus a Paramount Plus subscription included. Plus, you pay less for gas. That's a lot of pluses.
Only Straight Talk gives you unlimited 5G data and Walmart Plus included on select plans for free.
Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Requires service on Gold or Platinum Unlimited. One offer per eligible account. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms apply.
Exergen thermometers are a top choice of medical professionals at highly ranked hospitals across the U.S. With kids back at school, keeping them healthy is important. Make Exergen thermometer the chosen thermometer for your home or business to check for fever, where accuracy matters. When measuring temperature at home and at work, use an Exergen thermometer to keep your family and colleagues safe. Available at Walgreens and other participating retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Hi, this is Mike Avery, and here's what's coming up this week on Outdoor Magazine. First, Chris Durson of Rapid River Knives. Then, meteorologist Mark Torregrossa with a winter weather forecast. In our second hour, Captain John Littlefield on how you can become a charter captain, plus Matt Smith on buying recreational property. And in hour number 3, Don Barnard talks about trophy fall muskie fishing. Listen Saturday mornings at 6 and Sundays at 9 on WSGW.
That's all for this hour of the Art Lewis Show. Up next is Focus, where we're going to be joined by Saginaw's East Side Soup Kitchen. But first, the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Steve Kathan. We've just heard from police investigating the mass shootings in Lewiston, Maine that left 18 people dead. There has been no apparent breakthrough in the hunt for the man charged with the deadly attacks. Maine Public Safety Commissioner Mike Sawchuk says the extensive search in wooded areas is difficult.
We do look at all these situations as if the individual could be in there. And if that's the case, you'll see tactical teams at some point. A lot of folks are just dressed in a more casual manner, or BDU or battle dress uniform, just because they're going to be out in the woods and they're going to be out crawling around.
CBS's Elaine Quijano is talking to the families of the victims. One of them, 42-year-old Arthur Strout, was playing pool at the bowling alley that was targeted.
Christy, Strout's wife of almost 7 years, desperately kept hope he was alive until they received the grim news.
We got told that he wasn't at the armory where the witnesses went, wasn't at the hospital, and that I would have to wait for the medical examiner.
The couple were raising a family together.
Because of one man's choices, my daughter has to grow up without a father.
The Pentagon says U.S. fighter jets were in action in Syria. CBS News military analyst Jeff McCausland says it was a response to drone and missile attacks on American installations.
The United States conducted these 2 strikes against 2 facilities in eastern Syria. These are manned by Iranian-backed militias closely aligned with the Iranian Revolutionary Guard force. And clearly, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard have operated out of these bases.
Overseas, Israel's defense minister says he expects to launch a ground offensive in Gaza soon that will be long and difficult. CBS's Deborah Patta says air attacks have taken a toll.
In Gaza, there is nothing to stop Israel's relentless bombardment as it steps up airstrikes, often reducing entire neighborhoods to rubble. Often, entire families are crushed under the ruins of residential buildings.
Minnesota Congressman Dean Phillips says President Biden's done a great job, But Phillips, who's now challenging the incumbent for the Democratic presidential nomination, says 2024 is about the future.
I think it's time for a new generation. I think it's time to pass the torch. And I say now. I think the time is now, because I think 4 years from now, it might be too late.
On the Republican side, former President Trump getting the endorsement of Larry Elder, who has exited the GOP race. In New York, ex-crypto kingpin Sam Bankman-Fried took the stand in his own defense today at his fraud trial after a nearly 2-week prosecution presentation that ended yesterday. Wall Street, right now the Dow is down 73 points, NASDAQ up 117. This is CBS News.
You need to hire? Indeed is with you every step of the way, helping you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
A 401k can be an important asset for many Americans' retirements. You've made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years. Tune in Sundays at 8 a.m. on WSGW for your Financial Empower Hour with Jason Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment in Midland. They will give you information like how your 401k's tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs. But its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers. The little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
Chicago. Windy City Legends. Saturday, May 25th, 2024 at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Chicago. Tickets start at $63 and are on sale now at the box offices or etix.com. Chicago at Soaring Eagle Casino. Rock, horns, and hits. 250624. Details at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills. Offices in Detroit, Ann Arbor, and Grand Rapids. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 65 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. A crash along I-75 in Auburn Hills Wednesday claimed the life of a Flint woman. Police say a Ford Escape driven by a 27-year-old Flint woman was heading south on I-75 near Joslin Road around 6 p.m. when the vehicle left the road and rolled over. An 18-year-old woman was ejected from the vehicle and pronounced dead at a local hospital. The driver, another 27-year-old Flint woman, and a 19-year-old man from Flint were treated at a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The cause of the crash remains under investigation. The dean of Saginaw Valley State University's College for Health and Human Services has been appointed to the State Board of Nursing. The board was created to establish qualifications for nurse licensure, to establish standards for education and approve new nurse education programs, develop and implement criteria for assurance of continued competency, and take disciplinary action against licensees when the health, safety, and welfare of the public has been adversely affected. Dr. Marcia Dittmeyer of Frankenmuth has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, a master of science in community health and wellness promotion, and a PhD from the University of Toledo. She's appointed to represent the general public for a term starting October 26 and expiring June 30th, 2027. She succeeds Nora Malloy, whose term has expired. Michigan State Police and the Bay County Sheriff's Office collaborated on October 18th for a day-long enforcement initiative focused on Michigan's new hands-free distracted driving law. For about 8 hours, troopers and deputies in both marked and unmarked vehicles were on the lookout for drivers using electronic devices while driving along M13. Police say 57 stops were made in that time, with 14 verbal warnings and 30 citations given out. Each citation can result in a $100 fine and or up to 16 hours of community service for the first offense, and further offenses or offenses resulting in an accident have harsher penalties. Similar initiatives will occasionally be run throughout the region to promote safer driving habits and educate drivers. WSGW News Time 11:07.
Challenge. It's not something you shy from. It's a chance to up your game. Every day brings a new challenge, but with the enhanced Channel Seed brand on your side, you can rise to it. With our top-performing seed, innovative digital tools, and expanded agronomic support, you can turn tomorrow's challenges into your next advantage. Your enhanced Channel Seed brand. Let's rise to the challenge. Learn more at channel.com/rise. Read and follow pesticide label directions, IRM, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
WSGW News Time 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. Prosecutors have charged a former high school basketball coach after two teenage boys allegedly were sexually assaulted. 43-year-old Jeremy Tompkins worked as a coach at Farmington High School. He allegedly assaulted a 15-year-old boy and a 16-year-old boy at his home in Detroit back in August and October of this year. He was arrested this past Tuesday. During an investigation, it was revealed 3 other basketball coaches were aware several players had been to Tompkins' home. They've since been fired. The 2 students involved are said to be okay and getting support from a social-emotional wellness team. Model train enthusiasts will gather together next weekend in Lansing. Ron Rademacher with the Michigan Back Roads has this report.
November 5th is the date for the Lansing Train Show at the Michigan State University Pavilion. This is Michigan's largest model train show with trains in all scales from Z to G running on several different layouts. Learn from local and National Model Rail Association Division 5 experts on how to build the model railroad empire of your dreams at How To Session. Shop for train toys, memorabilia, books, and collectibles. Find out more at MichiganBackroads.com.
Voters in Kalamazoo County could be headed to the polls early next year. The County Early Voting Agreement Plan has set up sites for in-person early voting 9 days before state and federal elections. Through Proposal 2, it will also bring expanding number of drop boxes, streamlined absentee ballot requests, a ballot tracking system, and updates to voter ID laws. Starting next year, voters in 19 jurisdictions will be taking part in the expanded voting. WSGW News Time 11:10. Here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
This Friday is the last day of warmth for this week. We'll have a high of 70 degrees today. Still a breezy southwest wind gusting to around 30 miles per hour. We'll have a cold front moving through this evening. That'll start to cool us down into the weekend, but it will bring us one more round of some scattered showers this evening before a dry day on Saturday. We are expecting a lot of dry time, though, during the middle of your Friday as well. It's not until the late afternoon and the evening where those showers pick back up. For tonight, we'll have a low of 42 degrees, then a high of only 52 on Saturday, but partly to mostly cloudy, completely dry through Saturday. Then on Sunday, a high of 46. And we are still tracking some rain showers for Sunday, but the better chance there will be from Saginaw and south. So Flint having the best chance over the weekend. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Current temperature at WSGW is 66 degrees.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is presented by RoofMax. That's RoofMax with 2 X's.
Good morning. Welcome to the Focus Show. This is Matt Felan, the president and CEO over at the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance. I'm filling in for Art here for the next week or so as he's on vacation. And today on Focus, we have our great friend Diane Keenan, the executive director of the Eastside Soup Kitchen with us. Good morning, Diane.
Good morning.
So I have to tell you, Eastside Soup Kitchen is one of those places that's closest to my heart with the work that you do. to keep people in our community fed. Can you quickly tell everyone again exactly what is Eastside Soup Kitchen and who do you serve?
Yes, so we have been serving meals in the heart of Saginaw for 43 years, and we are open Monday through Friday, and we serve noontime meals, a luncheon, and right now we're serving 700 plus meals a day.
Wow, Diane, you say 700 plus meals a day. So I feel like the construct of time is now tied to the COVID pandemic. If we were pre-COVID, how many were you serving per day before COVID?
150.
I actually lost all ability to speak there for a quick second. You've gone from 150 to 700 plus from before COVID to now.
That is correct. And our numbers in the summer were 900 plus a day.
So why do you think, that number is so much higher? Because even you think about it, there was so much assistance, there was funding, people got checks during COVID. It seemed like there was a lot of help, but from what you're seeing directly on the ground, it seems like the need is really high right now.
The need is great. We have a wide variety of guests. So it might be someone who's working, but they're working poor. With the cost of food and inflation of everything else, people just need help surviving.
So with that, volume increase, how is it going in terms of funding the organization, and how is it going in terms of having the volunteers necessary to serve that many people daily?
We could not do what we do, provide the services that we provide without volunteers. It takes at least 12 volunteers a day because we're serving meals indoors in our dining room, and we're also serving meals outdoors through a drive-through system.
Yeah, the drive-through system's great. My son has actually gone out and volunteered. He's a high school junior. He did it last
great.
year. My wife sits on the board of Hidden Harvest, and so I know they're one of your great partners. And so they went
Yes.
out and volunteered, and they got to see firsthand, what it's like to really help, some of the most vulnerable and needy folks in our community.
Yes, it's a very humbling experience, and I think it's a powerful experience for young people to come out and experience that.
Yeah, it's great that opportunity exists so that, folks in our community can help. But what I want to do is we're going to take a quick break, Diane. But when we come back, we're really going to talk about how our listeners can help both monetarily and from a volunteer perspective after these messages.
You have a family doctor. Do you have a family plumber? When you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling problem happen in your home or business, you need to be able to call a professional that you can rely on and trust to make the repair or equipment replacement. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been the professional homeowners and businesses trust for 65 years. Whether you're looking for an emergency water heater replacement or planning a new heating system installation, you can trust Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to provide quality service and installation. Reamer has the equipment to fit every budget, experienced estimators, and state licensed technicians to install. Trust a professional to do the job right. Call Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Visit them on the web at reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality.
Wait, rebound, they score! Valentin Jugan! Oh,
This Friday, a new face makes his Saginaw Spirit debut. Newly acquired forward Ethan Hay suits up in the red, white, and blue for the first time as the Spirit battle the Sioux Greyhounds at 7:05. Plus, a potential brother against brother matchup as Spirit rookie Jacob Kluche battles his older brother Justin's Greyhounds for the first time.
Kluche shoots and scores! What a goal! Jacob Kluche's first in the OHL!
Great seats are still available, and bring the kids for pregame trick-or-treating in the Budweiser Render this Friday night at the Dow Event Center.
The WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
Good morning and welcome back to the Focus Show. This is Matt Felan with the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, and I'm joined here today by Diane Keenan, the Executive Director of Eastside Soup Kitchen. So, Diane, can you explain to our listeners how exactly is Eastside Soup Kitchen funded?
Well, I can tell you in the last 4 weeks, I've written 5 grants. So that's one way that we are funded, as well as we rely on our friendships with the community members. They donate food as well as make monetary donations. We reach out to businesses and foundations. And sometimes it's a church group or a school group, and they get together and they have a fundraiser as far as having a food drive, and they collect non-perishable food items for us.
So, Diane, I know you have 2 fundraisers coming up in the next few weeks in November on the 7th at 2nd Street Sports Pub in Freeland. Can you talk about that fundraiser?
Yes, so that is going to take place from 3 until 10 on November 7th, like you said. And how that particular one is going to work is from 3 until 10, we will receive part of all the proceeds taken in that evening. And then we'll also have our van there, and we call this event Feed the Van. And this gives the opportunity for the community to come out and support by donating canned goods.
That's great. So for all of you listeners, November 7th, you don't have to cook that night. What you need to do is bring items, donate them at the Freeland, at the 2nd Street Sports Pub, and then go in and have dinner.
Yes.
And a certain amount of those proceeds will go back. So it's a great night not to have to cook, but to be able to give back. And you have something similar at Texas Roadhouse as well in November, correct?
We do. On November 14th, we will have the same thing, same time frame, 3 to 10. Come in. Part of the proceeds will be donated to the East Side Soup Kitchen. For that one, you will need a small flyer that you will be able to print out on our webpage. And we will also have the van there and be holding the Feed the Van event.
Yeah, and so for our listeners that may be in front of their computer in the office right now or at home, what's the website that they can go and get that printed out right away? Is kind of a reminder to get out there.
www.eastsidesoupkitchen.org.
Awesome. So let's just chat in general about how people can support Eastside Soup Kitchen, because we all are asked to donate to a lot of great causes. There's no question. But when we talk about food insecurity and hunger, that one hits home because I think we can all understand what that means, or we know people who have found themselves in that position. Aside from the events that are upcoming, just in a general way, how can people help on a regular basis? Is it money that you need? Is it volunteers? Is it food? How can they help? What specifically can they do, and who do they find to do all of these things?
Okay, so all the above. So if you belong to a civic group or a church group or a group of your friends, gather them together and come and spend some time with us at the soup kitchen. Volunteer your time. I promise your heart will be touched and you will want to come back. Another way you could do it is have your own food drive. You could donate gift cards to Gordon's Food or Sam's, Meijer's, Walmart, Aldi's, Kroger's, wherever we can grocery shop at. We always appreciate something like that as well.
And Diane, for those that are listening that definitely want to help on the food side, there's certain foods that you really need and others that you may not. For the listeners that have not done this before but want to help, what are examples of the kind of food that really you're looking to be donated? What sizes, what types, what are the priority items?
Okay, so those would be number 10 cans, which are the large cans that you can purchase at someplace like Gordon's or Sam's Club. And we need those in any kind of vegetables because we serve vegetables every day. So we need those. You can purchase different fruit items like peaches or pears or apricots in those sizes. We always need things like that. We appreciate donations of bottled water. We also provide food for after-school youth programs. And so for those programs, we need individual juice pouches, individual chips or crackers and cheese, that type of thing.
Great. And I'm sure, this is a no-brainer for everyone, but you got to say it. Cash, checks, and credit cards are great as well, right?
Please and thank you.
And how do folks best donate? Is it on the website?
Yes, you can actually go on our website and you can donate right on the website, or you can send us a check, drop off a check. Tell you what, we'll even come pick up a check or a donation.
I love it. Diane is a fundraiser as well. I have had a long history in fundraising. I was a professional fundraiser.
Okay.
There's no shame. You go get those dollars
That's
every
right.
which way you can, and I love it. So, we are entering the holiday season here shortly. I was teasing earlier on the Art Lewis show and listening to the weather forecast and our partners at WNEM. Apparently, it's going to feel a lot like Christmas and Thanksgiving here pretty soon. And I'm guessing for you guys at Eastside Soup Kitchen, you have some big events coming up, especially Thanksgiving. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so we are open on Thanksgiving Day, and we serve a full traditional Thanksgiving feast. And this is just a beautiful event. It's for folks who they don't have anywhere to go, or they can't afford the full meal for Thanksgiving. So we have the need for turkeys, potatoes, butter, vegetables. We have a church, St. Thomas Aquinas, that provides pies for us. It's just a beautiful community event.
Oh, that's outstanding. How about volunteers that day? Is that a day where you actually get a lot of people that do want to volunteer in the morning to give thanks?
It
Or do you
is.
need volunteers?
It is a day that we have a lot of people who ordinarily cannot volunteer due to work schedules or such. And this is also an opportunity for families to come in together and volunteer.
No, that's great. And it's one of those things. Going to look forward to having you on again after the first of the year. I think a lot of people's hearts, minds, and wallets open up around the holidays, which is great because it's a time you get a giant influx. But a random Wednesday in February is pretty important too, isn't it?
Yes. Food insecurity is at an all-time high in Saginaw County, as well as other areas. And so we really need your support.
Yep. And so I have to ask Diane, you have a fan club. You have anyone listening today? We have any guests listening in right now?
We do. All our guests at the Eastside Soup Kitchen right now are listening to us. And so I told them I was going to give them a shout out. So hello, guest. And also a big thank you to all our volunteers that are there today serving and our wonderful staff.
So Diane, one of the things I get to do in my day job when I'm not moonlighting here on the radio is really talk about the Great Lakes Bay region and promote it. And one of the things I always talk about that differentiates us is our people. And Diane, you are one of those people. You and the work that you do, with your partners at Hidden Harvest and Samantha in that same building, what you do for food insecurity, the work of the Eastside Soup Kitchen is miraculous. And, I just want to say on behalf of the region, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for the efforts of your organization. You are truly what makes the Great Lakes Bay region great. And just know that you are absolutely appreciated and treasured here in our community.
Well, thank you. I appreciate those words of encouragement.
Well, you guys have heard it. When you have a chance, go to the Eastside Soup Kitchen website, consider a donation or volunteering, and go and have a great weekend.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And that wraps up this edition of The Focus Show.
Retirement is more than a